So we've talked a little bit about making this meaningful for the child. Okay. We know that they have limitations. We need to think about the limitations, the range of experiences that they've had, the variety of experiences that they've had, and whether and how they can interact with the environment. But there are ways to overcome those limitations. And this is a quote from Berto Lowenfeld, and he says that the best intervention and the best ways to overcome the limitations that are associated with multiple disabilities are through repeated, meaningful, hands-on experiences through daily activities with family members. Okay? So if you take that definition that he had, to me, as somebody trained in early childhood special education, that sounds to me like routine-based early intervention. And that's what most of you probably know about already. And so for these kids, we're also talking about routine-based early intervention, but we're talking about routine-based early intervention with some additional considerations, some additional planning, and some additional accommodations and strategies that need to go along with that. So, oops. Okay. So in the early intervention literature, routine-based early intervention builds on activity settings and learning opportunities rather than embedding therapy. So we're going to find those opportunities and let the kid experience them and provide learning opportunities and then allow things to happen, allow the learning to happen rather than to say, oh, I'm going to embed this right into your therapy. So we're going to promote child participation, okay, and we're going to respond, be responsive adults. We've already talked about that more than once. Okay. So when you're thinking about opportunities, and again, this is kind of what we think about when we're trained in early childhood education. We don't want to think just about how many opportunities they are, but rather about the quality of the opportunities and whether or not and how well they fit this particular child and this particular child's circumstances. It's not about how many opportunities, it's about how many consistent opportunities, how many relevant opportunities, and how many opportunities that make sense from the child's perspective. It's not about participating just for participation's sake. We need it to be quality engagement. And our responsiveness can't always be about what we want. Okay, it can't be about what we think that kid needs to work on or what we think is the best way to do it. It has to be about what the child's preferences. It has to be about slowing down. It has to be about really carefully observing so that we make sure that it is relevant to the kid. And again, that's that part of stepping outside our comfort zone because that's not always the way we were trained. So you're going to get two resources, two things to do here. And this is a resource that also is in your packet. Okay. The first one is a places map. And this is a way for you to identify learning opportunities in the home or the school or the community. And it could be school, preschool, daycare, okay, babysitter, grandma's house, someplace other than home. So think about a particular child and tell me about what's going on at home that would provide a learning opportunity. Kitchen utensils, realistic things from the kitchen. Okay. All right. So playing in the kitchen might be a learning opportunity. Okay. Or playing with utensils in the kitchen would be a learning opportunity. So that's something that you could put in there. Do you remember the little boy that we watched with his communication system? What was the opportunity there? An opportunity that most kids have several times a day. Eating. Okay. Mealtime is another opportunity for learning. Okay. What's another opportunity at home? Diaper changing is another opportunity at home. Okay. What's another one? Dressing, getting dressed or undressed. Okay. Learning, those teachable moments. Okay. So it's not just when the child is, when you're, quote, working on speech or when the early interventionist is there. Robin McWilliams says that, all learning, all early childhood learning takes place in the 23 hours between, of the 23 hours other than the hour of that home visit. That's when all the learning's taking place, okay? Okay, so these are the sources of learning opportunities, and you've heard us begin to talk about what some of them are. So, like for a kid in school, we miss opportunities like when they're getting on and off the bus, okay, walking down the hall. So we just want to be aware that there are lots of opportunities for learning.